Control Talk now for the week ending June 22nd, 2014. I am in the Shenandoah Valley. My wife and I, Anna, just attended a wedding. It's beautiful here. I apologize for the quality in advance. We're not going from our studio, but hey, I'm joined as usual by the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only Kenny Smyers from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Kenny, how's it feel to be home, buddy?
I'll tell you what, I'm recuperating. It was a great trip out west, and get that time cycle back, get the rhythms up late last night, up early this morning. Yeah, it looks fabulous. It looks beautiful where you're at. Where is this exactly? Roanoke, Virginia?
No, Woodstock, Virginia, which is farm country. It's just beautiful out here. I tell you, it's gorgeous. We were at a wedding. My wife actually went to the brunch. I told her we had to do another Control Talk. Now, we missed last week because we were traveling, so we couldn't miss 2 weeks in a row. But, hey, kind of roughing a little bit, Kenny. I'm running low on battery. There's no place to recharge the battery, so we'll just get through as much of this as we can. But, hey, we were in Las Vegas last week at WorldCom, Ibicon. Let's just sum that up a little bit, Kenny. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Eric, it was one of the events that you'll never forget. And I think the theme was about people and about embracing change. There's so much technology available. And it's here. It just needs the adaptation. The adoption rate's kind of slow, and you got this analyst out there, Jim Young, and Howard Berger, and everyone on staff, and they're just amazing. They put together this WorldCom Ibicon 2014. It's just so full of information. It was probably again, we said last year, they're raising the bar. They're bringing all these people together, all this technology and innovation together. It's just incredible.
No, it really is. And I tell you what,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. What superstars, though, buddy? I tell you what, we had new people, Intel, Google, Cisco, all of them were there. Dell was there. As Jim Young told us, the times, they are a-changing, and I tell you what, I think this was a harbinger. To me, Kenny, it was a little bit like a scene from the Wild West with the OK Corral, where everybody's showing up. They all got their guns on. They're sort of all eyeing each other. Everything's kind of friendly right now, but, dude, I tell you what, it looks like there could be a major gunfight before this is all said and done. What do you think?
Well, I mean, we could begin at any part of this, like a 360 degree. Any part of it you go into, you're exactly right. I don't think our industry will ever be the same again now that you have, Microsoft, Intel, Cisco's back in the game. You have, let's see, Google now. So you had, Yardi on one bookend, Tritium on the other. So they've been staunch players in this, and they're very good in the markets. Yardi has 47% of the management systems for real estate. Tritium's world known, global. They're anticipating a fabulous upgrade with the Niagara 4 coming up here in the next 6 to 8 months. So that's that was business as usual. But then you had Microsoft and you had Google, you had Intel. Intel had a session where they introduced the E2E solutions. And they're talking about embedded technology that's going to go out on the equipment. Daikin's already using it and already shipping 5 to 50-ton rooftop units with this technology on it. Some kind of incredible stack. It's got Wind River and McAfee. So it's just a whole different approach. So we're going to see fierce competition for the building space. And then last but not least, Dell says that they made an announcement that they're going to get into the building space. I'll tell you how the technology was so amazing that these guys here, even the pens you give out,
yeah.
We have flashlights. I mean, the technology just keeps growing. We thank,
Tom Shercliffe for that.
Tom Shercliffe and Rob Murchison and the Intelligent Buildings. But boy, there was just so much, Eric. So I'll talk forever if you don't break me up.
Well, there was, and listen, I want to just cycle back around because Apple was running around there too. They weren't an official sponsor, but they were running around. We heard tons of rumors going around. One of them being Kenny. Dell had been in the space, but we heard from a couple of different sources that Dell is looking to become a master systems integrator. That could just completely change the whole game. So that part of it was fantastic. But let's talk about. You did a session, Kenny. Let's break your session down. You did a fantastic session, which included that Daikin thing. Tell our listeners about who else was in your session, because I did record that. We'll get that one posted.
Well, I had the Smart JV Systems devices, and what it was kind of a preview of what to expect in the future. So I had, we had William McGowan. He's an engineer for Cisco Canada. We had Kevin Fasinelli, Executive Vice President of Daikin, and we had Lindsay Baker. she's studying her PhD, and she's a leads. She actually worked on the leads documents, and she's with Building Robotics, and she was talking about her new application, or they're Building Robotics' new application, Comfy. It was just all technology. You had the technology on the equipment side with Daikin. Daikin is just probably the largest equipment manufacturer in the world now. I think they just passed up the carrier United Technologies, so they're really on the move, and they really embrace this new technology. And they're looking for partners. They run through manufacturer reps now, but I think they're expanding. Kevin Fasinelli, I think he's going to get back to us and tell us a bit more. Then we had Cisco. Cisco's always been in the space. They kind of went in with the mediator real heavy, and they came back out. They had some issues, and now they're coming back into the building space. And if Cisco really wants in the game, they have the technology, the resources to be a very strong player. It's just what part of the market do they want, or how they're going to go to that market. And then you have just incredible apps like Comfy. Comfy is like a just an incredible application where it's a new concept of zoning, where everybody's iPhone, this is the sensor right now. So if you're here and you want, you're in your space and you want cooling, you go to your Comfy thing, you download it, it's an app, you hit it, and it commands the building management system. It's compatible with Johnson, Honeywell, Vicon, all the building management systems. It's a layer on top of it, and then you can give individual access. So the days of using placebo thermostats where people go up to the wall and change it a couple degrees and think something happened is over, in their opinion, but that concept is there, the psychology of making something happen and feeling that, the immediate change to the temperature. So you hit cooling, it gives you 10 minutes of cooling, and then after that it sees if you still want cooling, and responds to your environment as you move through your environment. So it becomes an ultimate zoning system. It complements the existing system with more accuracy because the sensor are contextualized through your phones. Pretty.
Well, I tell you what, it's amazing. And Lindsay Baker, Kenny, I mean, she helped write the LEED standard, didn't she? I mean, what a brilliant woman.
Well, they're out there in the think tanks out there in the Silicon Valley, and she went to Berkeley, and I know she made a comment when we interviewed her at her booth. They were also exhibitors at the vendor show. She's telling her professor, that she's on top of her next due assignment or whatever. But so they're amazing people because they love what they're doing. They have a passion that's
Looks like we froze up here, Kenny.
Everybody knows him. Everybody says, "Hey, Bill." You run up to him, and he's got 30-some years in experience in the industry. Honeywell, Delta. In fact, he was the Delta man for many, many years, and particularly in Canada. So, security. What about Billy Rios? How would you like them?
Billy the Kid Rios, man, he was something else. I tell you what, brilliant guy, Kenny, and he spoke. It was a session that I co-moderated with Ken Sinclair. And it was a systems integrator. Jim Young has a theory that the systems integrator of today is not able to take care of all the needs of the supply that the enlightened business owner has right now. They need more skills. So he had a session where you had people like Daryl Smith from Microsoft. You had the owners talking about what they were looking for. You had people talking about security. Billy Rios was one of the guys talking about that. You had guys like Paul Oswald, who is one of the probably 7 or 8 systems integrators in the country that Jim Young would dub able to handle the supply that's going on. So it was a fascinating session there as well.
Well, and then Eric, just to keep one up in this thing, we got to talk to the gentleman that did the Mr. Sharad Oberoi, PhD from Sanborn, and he did the spin robot, and so we got to see that technology firsthand. We got to see what the concept was. He was a graduate at Carnegie Mellon University. I actually trampled some of the same grounds on McKnight Road, some of the restaurants. A really nice, gregarious guy, but massively intelligent. And this robot might be doing some things that make Star Wars and all these other, because it looks like R2D2.
Yeah.
Heck, anyhow, we called it the R2D3 spin or whatever, but it goes in and surveys. It does an incredible 3D total information gathering of the inside of the building. But after work hours, you put the robots, maybe 1 or 2 of them, inside of your facility, and it will go through the entire space doing a 3D survey, putting it down to some ridiculously accurate dimension of square footage, and just everything. It does all the thermal imaging, and it brings it back so that you now have a completely, just a comprehensive survey of your facility from the inside. So I could see.
Yeah, well, hey, but hey, before you go on, I mean, you're absolutely right. The spin was cool, and then right after that, guy taps us on the shoulder. Man, he's got drones, baby. You know, he showed us his drone, and we got to interview him too, and using drones in the business, right?
Oh my God! Well, see, that was AJ Jolivet or Jolivet.
Javelet, yeah.
Javelet. Okay, and he was with pterosaur, which is kind of cool because after the dinosaur, you got pterosaur. But that to me might be, if you guys are investors out there in the world, you might want to check your portfolio and add some of this to it, because what will happen is the drone had a little bit of a setback. It came down on the stage, and there was some interference with the frequencies and did a belly flop there on the stage. But as Jim Young said, you got to do the belly flops before you can really get the systems up and running and really get this thing to the next level. And it'll be those kind of growth, there's those incidents that happen to make sure that doesn't happen again. So we got to see that firsthand. So, but I see that every single fire department, police station, university, hospital is going to have drones like on helicopter pads, because if you get an alarm, this thing can immediately you could type in the address of the residence where the alarm came or the business. This thing takes off. It can fly up to 50 miles an hour, has a 40-minute battery life, and has a load-bearing strength of 2.5 pounds. But it could go out there and it could do the thermal scanning and say, well, there's no fire here, there's no hot spots, and they can give you video feedback. So you're just going to see it happen. And in San Francisco, Lindsay Baker told us that they've already got
the taco drop. Remember, she was talking about taco drop and how you deliver. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Tell about it.
No, go ahead. I mean, it's just to me, I'm so excited about it because it's coming. You read about it, but to actually be there in one of the first or two generations or iterations of deployment. Yeah, they've got a community out there in San Francisco that they all agreed that the drones are going to be, part of the. They're going to be like a beta community for drones. They've got a, taco drop. They've got
so real quick, Kenny, the way the taco drop goes is a taco stand. You order your taco, they attach it to the drone, and it delivers it to your house. It's in the Mission District apparently. So if any of our listeners have experienced that, we'd love to hear about taco drop and how that's working for you.
Well, and then the other real serious side for the delivery of medical equipment for the people that don't have, that are assisted living, and they actually have the ability to deliver.
Way to go!
You're getting some big background noise.
Yeah, I know. They're walking around here. But hey, Kenny, this is live, so we got to keep going. We just got to power through it because it's live. We can't edit it.
Okay, well then, just to Eric, I need the assistance of the book, because it was just the day one general session was amazing. You had the author jumping the chasm. So you have just one session after the other on day one. Wednesday. I mean, I don't want to just read it, but they talked about the drones, the mobile devices, immersive visualization, dealing with the face of change. I think that we can stop right there and comment. What's your comments? Why are people so reluctant for change? We went through that the 15% early adopters and then the the innovators.
I think when we were talking to like some of the people at Intel and Cisco and all, they're trying to get in the space. I mean, I think the thing is that so many people in our industry have been burned. Right? I mean, if you're an early adopter in our industry, you typically get punished for that, right? So some of the manufacturers will actually beta test the products in the field. So I think that's why in our industry, people are reluctant to be early adopters. But I think we got to stay on top of this, Kenny, because this could just completely bypass you if you're not paying attention.
Well, Anita DeCosmo said that, or actually it might have been the gentleman from Tritium, the CTO. Help me out there. John Sublett said if you're not careful, technology can actually leapfrog you and leave you behind, so that if you're not staying current with technology and keeping your upgrades and revisions to the fullest, latest revision, you could be trapped where you can't make the next jump. So, and we're seeing it happen now. We're seeing it happen across every front. Going back to the Intel, we got to meet Scott Shull, who's the Director of Technology Strategy with Intel, and what do you remember from that? I took notes in that meeting because it's just again.
Well, I was impressed with Scott. I tell you what, he is a really classy guy. Intel's paying attention. I mean, the questions they're asking, they don't seem to be coming into this with any sort of arrogance at all. Scott seems to be a guy that realizes that Intel has a lot to offer, but maybe a lot to learn too. So I think those guys are going to be around, Kenny, and they're stepping in a big way, as is Google, as is Cisco. As we know, Cisco's already had one misstep, so I think, this Bill McGowan guy is super, super smart. I think they're going to be very careful about how they sort of re-enter the marketplace. We didn't get to speak to Dell much, but like I said, we did hear a lot of conjecture about what they might be up to, and it'll be interesting to see because it sounds like they're going to bypass distribution and bypass the systems integrators and try to do that do that themselves. So like I said, it was a big day, Kenny. And then okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
No, I just wanted to get the gentleman from Cisco that was on the stage that was doing the. His name was Rick Ubretz from Canada. Bill McGowan was in my session, but the actual representative from Cisco was a guy named Rick Ubretz.
Yeah, we actually have Rick. I mean, Kenny, we actually put a post up yesterday that actually has that general session, the complete general session, with Rick, the guy from Intel, Nino DeCosmo, like you said, the guy from Yardi, and the guy from Google. So if you really want to get a feel for what that's all about, check that post out we put up yesterday. And Kenny, I tell you what, I'm probably going to run out of battery here, and rather than crash and burn, I know what I think we should do is we got so much we're going to be posting on Control Trends next week. I'd like to just sum up a couple of other key pieces, and then we probably ought to hop off before the computer dies. The other guy that you talked to that you've gotten to be pretty close to is a guy named Dave Lorenzini. Talk a bit about him and Google Glass and some of the things he had to say. That was some fascinating stuff.
Oh, sure was. Well, first of all, I just want to say what an intelligent, nice guy Dave Lorenzini was. I mean, some of these guys, they're like rock stars. You know, he was working on the original version of Keyhole, which led to Google Earth, and has had several technology innovations since then. But he was actually working with the pterosaur and also, I believe, with the Spin robot. So because he knows so much about it, it's tied to the wearable technologies now. So Dave Lorenzini is actually probably the most recognized spokesman for the Google Glass applications, and he was just telling us some of the things that are coming out. He actually came into the vendor show and met with Ed Merwin. I know you had the glasses on, and he was just he's just absorbing our industry, because now he looked from the corporate real estate actually down to see what sensors were, what controllers were, what is the intelligence, and he got he was very nice, but he got a kick out of it because he just said this will actually these technologies are so complementary now. So he was just showing us how to do it. You've got the mouses up on the side, and it's just so cool looking. But he predicted that the Google Glass right now costs $1,800 just for Google Glass, and then the frames cost anywhere from $200 to $400 additionally. He was predicting that the Google Glass was going to go down inside of $400. In fact, he said he had a meeting that very afternoon with the woman that runs the Google Glass department, and he was predicting that those glasses would be sold under $400. So now you're going to see remote assistance. Part of our industry is going to evolve into every job site will have a Google Glass, and you'll sign it out, and you take it on your shift probably, and that's not accounting for the lenses and the different characteristics. If you have prescription glasses, there'll be issues there. So there's always a lot to work out. But the reality is that you don't need. You could take one technology, one seat, one person, or one station man 24/7 and provide remote assistance around the globe 24/7, and give people. We actually have a post from last week.
Well, we had a post last week showing, but Kenny, I think where that's going to really phase in. I mean, one of the biggest challenges we have is getting qualified people. So every company's got at least one or two really good jam-up people that really understand the technology. So think about the ramifications of Google Glass, being able to send maybe your B team players out in the field. They get stuck. They come back to headquarters with their Google Glass, and that guy's able to see exactly what they're looking at, coach them through it, get them through it. So I think Google Glass is going to be a game changer. I think it's going to help integrators get where they need to be. I think it's going to help solve the problem about allowing people that right now aren't qualified to go out into the field for really complicated jobs, maybe be able to step up to the next level, being assisted by somebody back at headquarters that can see and hear what they're seeing and hearing. Okay, Kenny, I'm getting a little red dot here saying that I'm getting ready to log off. So I'll tell you what, guys. Apologize for this being such a short broadcast. It's Ken Smyers and Eric Stromquist, Control Talk Now, June 22nd, 2014. Kenny, we will be back next week. I'll be back in studio, and we'll have a full-blown thing. But stay tuned to Control Trends. Next week, we're going to keep you updated on all that happened at Realcomm IBCon. Any final comments, Kenny, before we hop off?
No, like you said, there's 2 weeks worth of posts, and we'll catch up next week. Travel safe.
Indeed.
Indeed.
All right.